Hi everyone, this is the last in our series of videos on unit conversions, and we're going to continue our focus on dimensional analysis, again, which is a technique that we borrow from science. Now, dimensional analysis is very useful for converting from not only just basic units, but area units and volume units. A nice question to ask, this is a great one to ask your students, is how many square feet are in 1 square yard? Visually, you'll see 1 square yard is a square that's a yard by a yard. And I can divide that. 1 yard is 3 feet. So I know that 1 square yard has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 square feet. So 1 yard squared is equal to 9 feet squared. Let's do the same thing. Let's sort of prove this with dimensional analysis. Now, if we know that we want to do an area conversion, since it's square feet and square yards, we want to convert from 1 square yard and say how many square feet is in 1 square yard. In dimensional analysis, remember, what you do is you multiply what you want to convert, which is 1 yard. I'll make that a fraction over 1. We want to multiply that by a fraction which is equivalent to 1. Now, I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. I've got a yard on the top, so I want to get a yard on the bottom. So 1 yard is equivalent to 3 feet. But this doesn't quite cancel. I have a yard squared on the top, but only a plain yard on the bottom. So to make it a yard squared and a yard squared, I need to square this conversion factor. So 1 yard squared, so I'm going to square everything that's in that conversion factor. So this is going to be 1 yard squared over 1 yard, or just give me 1, excuse me. And the conversion factor, when I square it, that's going to be 3 squared, which is 9. I'm going to square everything. Feet squared, and then square everything. 1 squared, which is 1, over yard squared. So what I did was I squared everything in this conversion factor. Again, treating them as algebraic expressions. Now I can cancel. I have 1 yard squared on the top, cancels with a yard squared on the bottom. And what am I left with? 1 times 9, remember, just multiply your fractions. That's 9, over 1 times 1, which is 1. And the only unit that's left is feet squared. So 1 yard squared equals 9 over 1, or 9 feet squared, which basically proves what we did up here. Now, let's do another measure, essentially area conversion. This is from, in metrics, a square decameter. So 4 decameters squared is how many centimeters squared. And again, when I do these conversions with the metric system, I usually just go from large to small and figure out what the conversion factor is. A decameter, this is a D since it's deca. D is capital D for deca, is 1, 2, 3 steps. Remember, each step is a factor of 10. So 1 decameter is equal to 10 to the first, 10 to the second, 10 to the third, or 1,000 centimeters. All right. Now, if you like, I could square it at that point, but I'll just sort of, this is a decameter, by the way. That's supposed to be a decameter. Sorry about that. Now, I'm going to do my conversion. So I want decameters squared. Well, my conversion factor, 1 decameter is 1,000 centimeters. I have a decameter on the top of that fraction. I want to cancel that. So I want a decameter on the bottom. So I have 1 decameter on the bottom. Now that is equivalent to 1,000 centimeters. Now I don't quite have what I need to cancel yet. I have a decameter squared, but I only have it on the top of the first fraction, but only a decameter on the bottom, so I've got to square that conversion factor. Remember, you square everything. So that's going to be 4 decameters squared over 1 times, just square everything in there. 1,000 squared, 1,000 times 1,000, which is 1,000,000. Centimeters squared. I square everything in this conversion factor. Divided by 1 squared, which is 1. Decameters squared. Again, I'm just squaring everything down below as well in the denominator. Decameters squared. Now I can cancel. I've got a decameter squared on the top, cancel with a decameter squared on the bottom, and what I'm left with is 4 times 1,000,000, or 4,000,000. Oh, centimeters squared is my unit, over 1 times 1, or just 1, and that equals 4,000,000 centimeters squared. All right. Just a couple more. Let's do one from inches to yards. Now again, you might use a factor. You can do this a couple different ways. This one, it's basically we're going to do a volume conversion. So let me change that volume. That is a cube right there. And my volume conversion. So notice why this is volume, because it's cubic inches. How many cubic yards? 1,420 cubic inches equals how many cubic yards? I'll show you a shortcut to do this one. I'll take my conversion factor and I'll cube them there. So 1 foot equals 12 inches. Well, that would say, and again, my strategy, I want inches to yards. So I can do this a couple different ways. One strategy is go from inches to feet, and then feet to yards. So this is going to be a two-step process. Inches to feet. Well, 1 foot is 12 inches, which means I'm going to cube everything in this conversion. 1 cubed, so 1 foot cubed, I cube everything, is equal to 12 cubed, and 12 cubed is equal to something large, 1,728. Essentially, I cubed this 12. 1,728 inches cubed. I cubed everything. Cubed that, cubed that, cubed that, and cubed everything. Now, let's do the same thing for yards. Cube everything. 1 yard cubed, well, 1 cubed is just 1, so that's yard cubed, is equal to, let's cube all of these. 3 cubed is 27 feet cubed. So I can actually cube my linear conversions. Now I'm going to multiply what I want to convert. Let's say, well, this is over 1 by conversion factors. First, let's go from inches to feet. 1 foot cubed is equal to 1,728 inches cubed is equal to 1 foot cubed. Okay, inches are on the bottom, so my inches will cancel. Now, I want to convert from feet to yards cubed. I have a feet on the top, so I want 27 feet cubed is equal to 1 yard cubed. Convert, again, cancel again. A foot cubed on the top, foot cubed on the bottom. Just canceling the things that foot cubed over foot cubed, they cancel. So what am I left with? I'm left with 1,420 times 1 times 1, just multiplying the fractions, which is 1,420. Yard cubed is my only unit that's left, over 1 times 1,728 times 27, which is 1,728 times 27. Okay, and 1,728 times 27 is 46,656. So this is going to equal 1,420 divided by 46,656 yards cubed, and that is equal to, let me get my calculator going, 46,656. That is equal to 0.0 0.03, we'll go to 4 decimal places, 0.0304 yards cubed. One last conversion, and this is again a volume conversion because they are inches cubed. And the trick here is I'm converting from inches cubed to meters cubed. So I'm going from an English measurement system to the metric measurement system. So let's see how the conversion works. And again, I think the strategy I like is I take these linear conversions and I'll cube them right there. So in other words, 1 inch cubed, I'm going to cube all of these. 1 inch, if I cube it, is going to be 1 cube, which is 1 inch cubed. And that's going to equal 2.54. I'm going to cube everything here. 2.54 is 2.54 cubed is, oh gosh, it's equal to a big fraction. It's equal to 16.387064 centimeters cubed. Now let's do the same thing for our meter and our centimeter. Cube everything. So 1 meter cubed, so 1 cubed is 1. 1 meter cubed equals 100 cubed. So I'm going to cube everything here. 100 cubed is 1 million centimeters cubed. So I've actually converted my linear factors. Now they're now essentially volume factors. Now I'm going to convert. I'm going to go from inches to centimeters, and then centimeters to meters. Okay, inches cubed, I should say. So inches cubed to centimeters cubed. Well, I want to cancel my, that's a 1. I want to cancel my inches cubed, so I know that 1 inch cubed is equivalent to 16.387064 centimeters cubed. All right. Now, let's cancel my inches. Inches cubed are gone. I multiply that by the conversion factor. I want to convert to meters cubed. I have a centimeter cubed on top of the middle fraction, so I'm going to put my centimeters cubed on the bottom. And that 1 million centimeters cubed is equal to 1 meter cubed. So again, I've just multiplied the original expression, 1,420 inches cubed, by ones. Okay? Now, let's figure out our centimeter cubed. It cancels with our centimeter cubed. 1,420 times my 16.38. That's going to equal, so this is going to equal 1420 times the 16.387064 is going to equal 23,269, about 0.63 to 2 decimal places. My units, the only unit left is meter cubed, and that's over 1, multiply the fractions, 1 times a million, so over 1 million. Okay, now when I divide by a million, I'm going to move my, so I take 23.269, or 23,269,000.63, divide it by a million, I'm going to move my decimal place over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is going to be, or you could just divide 0.02326963 meters cubed.